so often, the Sports Hangover touches on mature topics. Discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar. That's Jeremy Garrison. And this is the Sports Hangover, Jeremy. And we have so much to talk about. We missed last week. Busy schedules. Can't match up. We have a lot.
It's tough being us.
It is really tough being us.
You know what? I feel like there's like 10 things to talk about today. It's crazy, right?
There is 10 things to talk about today. Number one, Broncos fans are petitioning CBS to ban Phil Simms from their games. I kind of like this. I'm not a big fan of Phil Simms.
But that's like not the reason, not because they're not a big fan of him. They feel like he is partial to the other team. He doesn't like the Broncos, which doesn't make sense. His son, Chris Simms, played for the Broncos for a minute at one point in his career. I think he ruptured his spleen playing for the Broncos.
He played for the Bucs, Jeremy.
Well, he also played for the Broncos. I just think Phil Simms is not a good analyst, right? He's no Chris Collinsworth. But to sign a petition, like, what are you doing? CBS doesn't care what you think. CBS gets 27 million viewers on the Broncos-Seahawks game.
Yeah.
They got 17,000 petition. Like, you're wasting your time.
I guess you're right. Let's move on then. Number two. All right. So last week, a lot of shit went down, Jeremy. We had all right. So first, the AP thing. AP was suspended, put on some kind of reserve. Then Jonathan Dwyer came out and started beating up his girlfriend. Greg Olson, right? Greg Olson?
No, he's fine.
No. Who's the other guy? Greg. Who's the guy in Carolina?
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy. Sorry.
Greg Olson's a model citizen.
And then Goodell's press conference. I didn't watch the whole thing, but this all happened last week. Lots and lots of stuff on domestic violence and what the NFL is going to do about it and how they handle everything. It's just.
It took Goodell so long to speak, right? It was like 2 weeks until he finally spoke, and then he speaks, and no one's happy with what he says. So why even speak? And I think that's why he took so long, because it was like, nothing good is going to come of this. Why should I go out there? And it was a feeding frenzy, and he was attacked, and he was caught in lies, and he did not have a good performance. I'm a fan of Goodell because I met him. He spoke to me. I asked him for Super Bowl tickets. It was Super Bowl weekend. He declined. He did decline, even though I know there were some tickets in his pocket.
So my thing is, I understand, like, no one's perfect, Jeremy. And when you're running I know. Well, when you're running a company this large, you can't do everything right. And the whole reason you're in charge is to make decisions. And sometimes those decisions you have to make quickly, and sometimes they're not the right decisions. And Goodell said, listen, this is what we're going to do. He did something bad. We'll give him the 2-game suspension. They then maybe or maybe not have seen the video, and then they're like, you know what? Maybe we're going to do something a little different. And that's the whole point. He has to make decisions and do what's right for the NFL. He can't just, right then and there be like, oh, no, we got to do it this way. He has to just make that decision, Jeremy.
So you support Goodell?
I do. And, I wouldn't be upset if he got fired because, he might handle it a little wrong. Waiting a long time to talk about everything. Those decisions were wrong. But when something happened to, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name anymore? Not AP, the guy before that. Ray Rice. When he did that to his wife or fiance at the time, whatever she is, he came out and immediately said, okay, there's a 2-game suspension and this is what's happening. But everybody kind of handled it wrong. And what are you supposed to do? This is a big deal and you want to make sure it's right.
We're not going to talk about this too long because I know a lot of people are sick of it. But here's the thing with Goodell. He did not try to get that second video. TMZ said they got it by making a phone call to the casino. Roger Goodell is much more powerful than TMZ. He even tried. He didn't want to see it before he made his judgment of a 2-game suspension. And then his reason for being allowed to stay commissioner is, I admitted a mistake. That's not good enough, just admitting your mistakes. There has to be a better reason. Why are you equipped to move this forward into the future? And he hasn't shown any of that. Additionally, this independent investigation is being run by Robert Mueller, who works for a firm in Washington, D.C., who negotiated TV contracts with the NFL. So you can say it's an independent investigation. It's not. It's an internal investigation. And the calls, it's a distraction at this point, having him as a commissioner. Another problem, there's no number 2 commissioner.
That's true.
There's no deputy. There's no backup. In the NBA there is. In baseball, there is. In the NFL, there isn't.
Do they make decisions?
This guy has supreme
in
power.
the NBA, do they make decisions? I feel like he's the commissioner, but there's 12. There's not 12. There's 30 other teams, presidents that help him manage. Like, hey, this is what we want.
Yeah, but in the NFL office, say Goodell is fired. we don't know who would take over. There's no natural person. But in every other sport, there is, because there's a number 2. You just slide into position like a vice president. And it's just crazy that he has so much power. He has too much power. And at the end of all of this, if he does keep his job, he needs to relinquish some of the power. Did you see the Howard Stern guy interrupt the press conference?
I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I didn't see it. What did he do?
It was scary at first because, like, you don't know what's going on. And someone's, like, yelling off camera. You can't see him, but he's just yelling. And he's, like, yelling Goodell's name. Then they finally show him, and he's, like, grabbed by a guy twice his size, and they're carrying him out. And he says, "Don't put me in the elevator. Don't put me in the elevator. I don't want to go in the elevator." Obviously, like, with the Ray Rice elevator thing. So it's pretty funny. It was a Howard Stern prank. So good for him because we're talking about it. So it's pretty good.
Number 3, talking about the internet, Jeremy. Jameis Winston last week stood up on the table and yelled, "Fuck her right in her pussy." Now, I didn't know what this was. Obviously, I'm getting a little older now.
I didn't either. That's so bad.
It's really bad. So I researched. I was online for about an hour watching these videos.
Okay, so you Googled "fuck her
right in her pussy." Now, this is a website. If you go to FHRITP.com, there are videos and everything. It's just this guy running this website. And he goes on live. All right, so basically what it is, if you're on live TV, somebody's talking, you're getting interviewed, or somebody's broadcasting live, you run behind them and yell, "Fuck her right in her pussy." And that's what all these videos are about.
And that was happening a lot on local news and everything. I mean, it wasn't on ESPN. We wouldn't have seen it there, so we didn't see it. And so Jameis gets on a table in the student union, a picnic table, and starts yelling this out, right? Yep. There's no video of it, but Florida State students start tweeting about it. And there's like not 1 or 2 students. There's 20 or 30 tweets. I just saw Jameis Winston on a table yelling this in the student union, right? So it's funny that the Florida State students outed him. He was suspended for the entire Clemson game, which they almost lost, could have lost. The students put him in that situation. If the students don't tweet about it, no one knows. But the bigger stupid person here is Jameis himself.
Yeah.
Jameis is accused of doing this to a girl who didn't want this done to her. Right? Right?
Yes.
That happened. And now he's standing on a table barking. He got off with rape. Nothing has happened to him since that happened. And now he still doesn't get it. He's an idiot.
I know. And he's stealing crab legs. He's yelling this on the table. He even suited up for the game last week.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't understand everything. Like, he is football smart and common sense stupid. Yep. I know people. One of my cousins, really smart guy. He works for the CIA. He sometimes when we hang out with him, he like forgets his wallet at home and like doesn't have his driver's license and doesn't have a credit card. But he's super smart.
Really outing your family members here.
I have a lot of cousins. So
the
one that works for the CIA, I guess. But it's like, it's like you can be very smart but have no common sense. And Jameis has no common sense with this stuff. He's very stupid. And Mel Kiper moved him from number 3 to number 25 in his big board. That's a big jump. He's losing.
I would not draft him after all the like trouble everybody's going through right now. And I mean, it's all different. Like AP hitting his kid and everybody else, Ray Rice hitting his wife. But I mean, still, like you don't want these people on your team because you invest a lot of fucking money into them.
They should have lost that game. They were lucky to win. So our next story.
Jeremy, tell me about this.
4th shot class. So Ray Lewis is on ESPN, and that's a controversy as it is because the man is maybe murdered someone.
Maybe
they never found the white suit he was wearing the night that a man was killed in his limousine, and he was investigated, and they never found the white suit. Where is that now? Ray Lewis talking about Ray Rice.
Do you want to like inform everybody what happened back then when he?
I mean, I don't know the whole story. It was Super Bowl weekend in Atlanta. A man was stabbed to death in Ray Lewis's cab. Ray Lewis apparently did not like the guy. Ray Lewis was wearing a white suit that night. We saw surveillance video of him with the guy wearing the white suit. The white suit was never found. It never came up, and the idea is it's covered in blood because Ray Lewis stabbed him. Unconfirmed, that's what a lot of people think. Now, Ray Lewis said the following quote, talking about Ray Rice on ESPN this past weekend. "Some things you can cover up and some things you can't."
And he said this live on ESPN.
Live on ESPN. Ray Lewis said this. Now, obviously, we are saying that he covered up murder.
Yeah.
And he's saying the Ray Rice punching his fiance could have been covered up if there wasn't video. If there was video of Ray Lewis committing murder, he'd be in jail. He would not be on ESPN.
Not a Super Bowl champ.
So he cannot be saying stuff like this. He shouldn't be on ESPN in the first place. He has no credibility.
He's on like NFL, isn't he on Thursday Night Football or something? He's
no, just ESPN.
Just ESPN? He's on something. I see him every once in a while. They always cut to him.
He's on Monday Night. He's on Monday Night Football.
That's what I thought.
Well, I mean, what are your thoughts there? I mean, it's ridiculous, right?
I mean, it's true, though. What he said is true. If there was no video of Ray Rice, no one would have been in trouble. I mean...
But for him to say it, someone who... It's like O.J. Simpson saying that. It's the same level as O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, but maybe Ray Lewis was thinking about more of like, well, this was a fuck up for the NFL, and there are some things you can cover up. It's like sometimes if you do, like, you watch all those shows on TV like Entourage or whatever, it's like they got a coke problem. Instead of saying like, oh, he was drunk, he was like, oh, he was sick and falling over and couldn't do something. So it's like stuff like that where you try to like just twist it a little bit so it's not as truthful as it is.
A lot of people think it's personal what Ray Lewis said, and I agree.
I know you hated Ray Lewis for a long time, Jeremy.
Mean man.
All right, number 5, Jeremy. This is our little gambling section. Last week, I still gambled last week, Jeremy. Even though we didn't do a show, I don't know if that's okay with you. I still gambled last week.
I'll allow it.
So I did a parlay. I went. What did I do last week? No show week. I went 3-2 in my parlay, which is not.
The week before you were 2-5 when you told the people, so they lost money. Yeah. But the no-show week you went 3-2, so you didn't share these with the people, but you won. So can we get a winning week on the record at some point?
I mean, one day, Jeremy. I'm really hoping for this to happen. All right, so this week, Jeremy, I got the Raiders +4. I don't know who they're playing. I don't know why. I don't know.
Playing the Dolphins, and that's
pretty good. Derek Carr.
So the Dolphins can win by a field goal. I mean, they might bench Tannehill, which might need to happen.
I have the Saints -3 playing somebody. I don't know why it's not showing me who they're playing, but
luckily I know who everyone's playing, and they're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. That's a pretty good one. I don't expect the Cowboys to hang close.
Washington Redskins. I have them -3.5, and Kirk Cousins looks amazing, by the way.
Big Kirk Cousins fans. I like that. They're at home on Thursday Night Football. The road team on Thursday nights has not been faring well.
And the Atlanta Falcons playing somebody bad, -3.
The Atlanta Falcons are playing the Minnesota Vikings on the road this week. What's the
Bridgewater -3.
Bridgewater, no AP, which is crazy. That's another thing that we could talk about.
The team is just falling apart, Jeremy.
Falling apart. Castle's out for the year.
Castle's out. But Jeremy, I almost went on your Jags a little bit because Bortles is stepping in. Picked him up in fantasy in one of the leagues.
You're playing him against me, which I love so much as a UCF fan.
Up, Jeremy.
As a Bortles fan, it's way too early to play him, but I appreciate you.
I got no one else. Who else do you want me to play?
I know.
Jake
Locker? Your quarterback went on bye. You weren't prepared.
No,
let's talk about how you weren't prepared.
I mean, I didn't draft a good quarterback anyway, so Carson Palmer all the way. So
nervous.
That is my parlay for the week. We have the Raiders, Saints, Redskins, and Falcons. I only had 4 games this week because I want a perfect week.
So that's paying out 5-1 or so?
$10 wins you $117.
Yeah, roughly a little over $5.
So that's it, Jeremy. If you wanna bet this week, it's time. You still got a little money in that account.
Yeah, every week we talk about it. I'd like to get involved.
I know. So all right, number 6, the eliminator picks. So we were 1-1. We both picked Arizona and Denver the week before. And then I picked Seattle on the no-show week, which they won.
Wait, you picked them over Denver?
Yeah. Well, because I did it in my 100K eliminator pool. It was an accident. So I had to stick with them.
What do you mean an accident? You didn't want
I accidentally
to pick them?
clicked them. It was this offshore gambling website is not the most user-friendly.
Okay.
All right. So this week, since last week you didn't have a pick, we'll just call that nothing. We're continuing the race here. I'm taking the Chargers over the Jags this week.
I agree. I'm also taking the Chargers. No, I am. I already put my pick in on ESPN. Okay. I'm taking the Chargers to beat Blake Bortles.
That's so fun, Jeremy, when we both pick the same thing. We're supposed to be competing.
You want me to pick a different game? Is that what you're saying?
We're competing here. We're supposed to remember at the end of the season we're going to buy somebody a ticket to a game.
Okay, so what's our record?
Right now we're 1-1, and you have used Denver, and I have used Arizona. All right.
Okay, and we are not allowed to repeat picks. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
All right, let me get the schedule up here.
This is for potentially a football game in somebody's.
Not potentially. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Okay, so
all right.
You want like Redskins, the Saints, maybe?
I mean, there's a lot of buys this week, so that's going to complicate it right off the bat. I see a lot of even games, like Packers-Bears, even.
Yeah.
You could take Pittsburgh against Tampa, but Pittsburgh is in for a letdown. They're 2-1. They're not that good.
But the Bucks are really, really bad.
The Patriots and Chiefs. Mike, I'm taking the Chargers. I'm allowed to take the Chargers.
You don't want to take your Dolphins over the Raiders?
No, I have no faith. I'm wearing the hat. I have no faith.
Hey, tell me about the quarterback. What's going on there?
So Tannehill has been bad. He's had 36 NFL starts, and he has not proven himself. They had an embarrassing loss to the Chiefs last week where he's overthrowing out of bounds. He's not looking through his progressions. He's getting sacked too much.
So is it worth it for them to bench him right now? And just
I would like to see him bench because this is a must-win against Oakland and London. It's a must-win at 1 and 2.
So when you bench a guy that's in his second year, it's like when Mark Sanchez was benched. I mean, that was it for him. He's now a backup for life. So is this what you're saying? Tannehill is done. You're passing the throne back to Matt Moore.
I don't know if he's done, but I know that they have a better chance to win in Week 4 with Matt Moore. And so they need to win. This team has had so many rebuilding seasons. There's a lot of good players on both sides of the ball. You're paying Mike Wallace. You need a guy to throw it to him, and I think it's Matt Moore this week. If it hurts Tannehill's psyche that much and he's a puss and he can't rebound from being benched, then he's not the guy anyway. So move on.
All right, number 7. Peyton Manning's business is booming in Denver because of weed.
He said this. He said this to Peter King. He owns some Papa John's. Do we know how many?
A lot.
Several. 30-ish?
I would say even more than that. I mean, he's on the Papa John's
commercials with
yeah,
Papa.
so I imagine he might own a little more than 30.
Are they all in Colorado?
No, but I imagine a lot of them are. And why not? Why not go to the states where all the weed is legal? It's like, what else are you going to... You're going to order a whole bunch of food.
Now, I don't know if you can do this in Colorado. If I was Peyton Manning and these Papa John's, I would give a discount to those folks that have a cannabis card. If you have a cannabis card, I give you 10% off your pizza.
But in Denver, you don't need a cannabis card. You just walk in as a resident of Denver.
Walk in high, and I'll give you 10% off.
Tip your pizza delivery man some weed.
The password is I'm high, and then you can...
I think it's a really good... I'm going to Washington this weekend where weed is legal as well, so I'm going to check out the stores and see how it is.
Our friend Tony is going to live in Denver one day soon. He's leaving UNLA.
He said next June he's gone.
Yeah, I might join him there.
Wow.
I talked to my business friend.
And Tony, all there.
Greg won't go. I talked to my business friend named Sam, and Sam and me came up with a plan to grow cannabis, marijuana, in Colorado. Because it's only going to be legalized in more and more places in the next few years, right? Florida's going to get it. It's becoming more and more prevalent, so we need to grow it. More people need to grow it. I know it's competitive. I know a business guy. I could be a great face for us, and Tony would handle the engineering part.
So you guys are just quitting your lives, moving to Denver, growing weed.
The complication is our friend Sam just got a big promotion. He's moving to New York. And
he can be the money man. He can fund the project while you guys move out.
He is rich, and that...
Well, now he's going to be broke living in New York. Number 8, NFLers cannot figure out how to use those Windows Surface tablets that everybody thinks are iPads.
Yeah, so I always thought it was an iPad, but what exactly is a
Surface is what Windows came out with that is a tablet, but also a full version of Windows. So like the computer you're using, it's Windows, but a touch screen, but then it also has a touch the Surface, like where there are little boxes you can scroll and. Yeah.
So you're our technology correspondent. What is your thoughts?
My thoughts is these things must be fucking hard to use because there's so many options to do. It's like you pick up this.
We're talking about football players, though.
I know, but you pick up the iPhone. It's simple. It's just like, oh, you touch that and it goes to that. It doesn't. The Surface, like you could touch them.
Is that a 6S?
This is the 6 Plus, Jeremy, not the 6S.
6 Plus. Look at that phablet. Look at it go. Oh my God, Jeremy. It's bigger than your face.
It's big. So they don't know what to do with it. This year, everything's on it. The playbooks, medical records, everything. Concussion test. So they have it all now. No one knows what to do with it.
They should be iPads. If I was an offensive coordinator, I would rather have an iPad like the Surface than a piece of paper with my plays on.
Microsoft probably gave a shitload of money because look at the little picture in the rundown. Surface is advertised everywhere. They're just trying to get it out there. Big Ben can't figure it out. Eli is a retard. He can't figure it out.
You know how when you call plays in Madden, you have like all the plays right there, and you have the 3 boxes and you can go shotgun, like different formations. I think it'd be easier as an offensive coordinator or D coordinator just have those options for your playbook instead of these Surface tablets, which only have pictures. You can't actually use it as a tablet.
Well, you can use it as a. Oh wait, they lock it down.
No, it's only pictures. I don't know what you said about the concussion test, but I know it's only for still images. In the past, the guys would look at the pieces of paper.
They said beginning last year, the NFL teams started using the Surface tablets for things like their playbooks, medical records, and concussion tests.
Maybe medical records, concussion tests. You can't pull up all your plays. You can't keep notes there. It's only for pictures. Playbook.
Can't put your playbook.
That's not true. That's not true. No.
All right, Wall Street Journal. That's what the reliable source, Jeremy.
Right to the editor. Also, number 8. Not only can they not use the Surface tablets, they can't celebrate because we saw Stephen Tulloch sack Aaron Rodgers. He's on the Lions.
All right, go ahead.
And he tried to do the discount double check move after he sacked him, and he tore his ACL in the celebration. He's out for the year.
But he got back up though. He like fell, but then got back up and tried like shaking it off.
Because he's like so embarrassed, like that could not have just happened, but that just happened.
That was bad.
And that's really bad. It's happened before. The Bucks kicker. Do you remember he jumped up when he made a game-winning field goal and he tore his ACL on the celebration? Just be careful out there, people.
All right, number 9. This is a fact from Jeremy. Aaron Hernandez is starting in 0.3% of ESPN fantasy leagues.
What is he doing on these rosters? Are these dynasty leagues that people are not monitoring anymore? Is that
I don't think. I think these are leagues that are just have been abandoned. Abandoned leagues.
But they have to be active leagues. That's the thing. Like our LSG league from 3 years ago with Aaron Hernandez is not active anymore, so it wouldn't count. So I think it has to be a dynasty where you say the next 10 years. It's
weird that he's even still in there.
That is weird. Like Ray Rice is out of Madden, but Aaron Hernandez isn't out of ESPN.
It doesn't make any sense.
But that's like more than you would think. That's
a lot.
There's millions of leagues, and 0.3%. It could be 300,000 or so, maybe 30,000.
I would go like 3,000. I don't know if there's 3,000 is still a lot though.
But there's more than a million fantasy leagues. I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, number 10. Our favorite couple, Dustin and Paulina Gretzky. Dustin Johnson and Paulina Gretzky are pregnant. They're not married, right?
They're not married. The only golfer's name that you know. That's impressive. Yeah. So Paulina has not posted an Instagram picture.
But he's all coked up too, right? Like impregnating her all coked up.
Suspension right now, which questions her parenting skills. So Paulina hasn't posted an Instagram since June. You know, she's all over the Instagram bikini, and we always enjoyed it. She stopped it, and now she posted it. Now we're in September, several months later, and she's got the baby bump. So maybe end of the year, December-ish, we're going to see a little Gretzky.
A little Gretzky baby.
Now, will this kid be a golfer or a hockey player?
I mean, he can be an athlete, right? He's got two. I mean, I guess golfer's not really an athletic sport. Here's
a curveball. Paulina Gretzky's brother is a baseball player in the Cubs organization.
So
you're right about athletes. So what are they missing? Soccer?
I mean, I guess if the NFL goes down in the next 10 years, right? I mean, it looks like it's going that way.
Looks like it might be the next 4 years.
I mean, football, soccer, basketball. I mean, maybe not tall enough, but who knows? We'll have to see, Jeremy. We could put a long-term bet on this if you want.
Long-term. That'll be like for a Lamborghini, right?
Like in 20 years from now, where's their baby? Little Gretzky baby.
Or a Ferrari.
All right, Jeremy, good show. Please gamble this week, Jeremy. I got Tony into it this week.
Will you send me the information to get me on that website? This is your fault.
Okay. How about this? How about I put you over on the new website. I'll keep that money there. I'll transfer you your winnings in my money, and you go to the new website so I get free money back.
So you send me money on the website, or you
send you money
cash?
In like Venmo or PayPal, and then you go on the website and a new website.
And I put my own money.
Yes. Well, my money yes, your money that I'm sending you.
Yeah, $80.
No,
right?
I think it's like 70.
7?
Yeah.
Take the 7.
All right, Jeremy. I'm going to send you the money. All right. Check out the sport.
Go, Chargers, go.
SportsHangover.com, at TSH Podcast, tweeting all the time, and our YouTube page at The Sports Hangover. If we don't get molested or arrested or abused, we'll be back next week.